Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad to hear this Tuesday morning. Got a big show lined up, but first our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77, and it's going to be high today of 77 and low all the way down to 53. A little bit cooler than normal. As you look on the weather, you can see we've got some cold weather coming this weekend. They're predicting Saturday morning. When I say our meteorologists who are trained in this, and this is their livelihood, they're telling us now that we're going to be down into the 30s here on the coast this coming Saturday morning, and maybe also on Sunday morning. So everybody's been waiting for really cool weather. We got it coming. Our water temperature is right at 65.3. River read is brought to us by Sandhill Seafood up on Highway 77. Our place called Bluntstown 1.4, and at Choctaw at Caryville a 4.1. As you can see, they're both pretty low, and we were there this weekend or this past weekend. I'll tell you about that a little bit later, but I just looked around and all these sloughs are just really they're not dried up, and instead of being this wide, they're sort of this wide. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. A marine tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery. Great tide today. Really this afternoon, incoming tide all week long. I'm going to tell you something right now. This afternoon is going to be really good fishing, especially ahead of this front coming in. There are going to be some nice fish caught. There's going to be nice redfish caught and some nice trout caught in the afternoons of this week. I can promise you, because they're going to be coming in tide. And make sure you have your mullet net out too, because they're going to be some fish moving in. All right, the marine forecast will be coming out of south at about 10 to 15. That's pretty strong right there, 10 to 15. So straight out of the south. Let's take our break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's start off with a river report. I want to call it that because we've been down on the river this past weekend when Bill and myself went down Friday afternoon and down to Bill Shields' houseboat that's been there since we figured, or they've told me now, they think it was brought in 1950 or 1951. The old houseboat there, and it's amazing, it's still floating, but it's still in good shape structure-wise. So anyway, went down there with the intent of doing some catfishing that afternoon and some bush hooks that night, and get up that next morning and do some more catfishing and eat lunch with some catfish, and that was our intent, and that's what we did. But on the river report, they bit. We got a little late start, as you always do on Friday afternoon, especially on these short days. It's just, you can't get out of town quick enough, and by the time you get down there, you got about an hour, maybe an hour and a half before it gets dark. So we fished a little bit Friday afternoon, caught some fish, and set out bush hooks, and we didn't check them we checked them one time during the night. We went back to the camp and had a big old steak, and so after we ate the steak about 9 o'clock, we went out and checked them one time, got a few, then got a couple the next morning. So then we fished some the next morning, but really it got hot. It's hard to believe. It's got so hot it drove us off the river. The river's in good shape. It's low, but there's some good fishing out there. Some bass boats were running by. We're having a big tournament, and I talked to some other people, and it's really steady. So that's our river report. Now let's look at and also I was thinking I didn't get to cover the flathead catfish tournaments this past year, or this past season, like I usually do, and so I don't know the results. They have about 4 flathead catfish tournaments. They have start off in Weewall, then they go up there to Liberty County and Calhoun County, then they go to Choctawhatchee River, and then they come back and wrap it up in Weewall in September. And so I was out of town 2 of those times, so I didn't get to cover them. So I have not heard, but I was wondering if any of y'all out there knew about the results on the flathead catfish tournament, what weight won and who all won. I'll try to get the pictures and show it, because that's always a really neat thing, that flathead catfish tournaments, and it's a local thing, and get a lot of people participating in it. It's a lot of fun. You fish at nighttime for the flathead catfish and weigh in the next morning, about mid-morning. So really sort of neat and a unique thing that we do in the Florida Panhandle. Ira Forehand used to be in charge of it. I don't know if Ira's still doing it or not. So Ira, if you're watching, you watch a lot. So get the word to me. All right, let's look at some pictures. Got a couple of pictures here. Here's one of my former students, Blake Hatcher. He lives in Pensacola now. But here he is in Escambia Bay, his catch of the day from the bottom of the bay. He caught his rod and reel. Check this out. that looks like a nice rod and reel. And the question is it any good after you pull it up off the bottom of Escambia Bay? And that's only can be determined by taking to reel repair. But well, let me know, Blake, how it did. All right, here's down a pretty young lady. This is Donisha, and we were down at, I was invited to come down to PCMI last week, one afternoon, and in the background is Ted Randall. Ted works with the troubled kids and all down there, and I had Ted in my outdoor ed class, in the class of 2000. Ted's just a good young man. He's married now and actually got 4 kids, but he wants to help. He wants to help other people, so he works at Bozeman in the morning, at PCMI in the afternoon. He remembered our outdoor ed days, and he knew how much fun everybody had in that, so he wanted me to bring some outdoor, some fishing stuff and all down there. So these kids are fishing some a little bit, and most of them never fish. They're not bad kids. They just had some bad breaks and made some bad decisions. And so anytime we get a chance to do some outdoor stuff, that's right up our alley. Do some outdoor stuff with these kids, we'll be tickled to do it. So that's Donisha there. She caught that fish. She was just tickled pink. And we're going to do some more with them in coming months and all. Maybe they'll catch some more fish. I told Ted the fall now is better fishing there. You look on that picture right there. They're right. PCMI is right next to Tarpon Dock, literally next door to Tarpon Dock. And Tarpon Dock has got a channel where all the fishing boats come in. So that's really a good spot to go fishing. So glad we're able to do some. Check this out. Jamie Smelko Ross. There's an epic day at the Weewall Hitchika School for River Queens. There's some ladies down there, that's what they call themselves, and they fish pretty strong. It was a short trip, only got to be on the water for 4 hours, but man, was it worth it. And look at those brim right there, okay? That's a good job, Jamie. Good job there, that's good fish. Like I said, the river's in good shape, and folks are catching fish there. And you know, really between Thanksgiving and Christmas, is a little window of time that, you know, a lot of people are concentrating on the woods and all, but I was telling some folks that were down at Cape San Blas that how they were telling me how pretty it was and all, and I said that little window of time is a great opportunity to go out on the water and catch some really nice fish, freshwater and saltwater. So this little window of time, if you can get away from Christmas shopping and all, the weather's usually pretty good in this little window right here. So every year we have some good fishing trips this time of year. All right, let's take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I don't know about y'all, but the pine cones this year have been it's been a banner year for pine cones. Now the acorns, I'm talking about my yard, the acorns we just didn't have as many as we normally have, but boy, the pine cones have really exploded all over my yard, and I get a kick out of them because I literally kick them in the water sometimes, or kick them over on the side in the ditch, or I throw them. I play games with them and all that. So yesterday afternoon, there was some in the fall in the last couple of days, so I get out, try to make targets and throw them, and I do all kind of silly games with them. So I was out there, and I had my back to the water, and I was throwing them to the side, trying to hit a little tree like that and see how many I could get out of 10. So Gail hollered out the door, look, and I turned around, looked at the water, I could see the water rippling. And I knew the tide was coming in, and immediately I knew that was a mullet right there close to the dock, about halfway out from the dock. So I literally stopped my little game and literally ran to the garage and got my bucket with my net in it and ran down to the dock, but I didn't run on the dock. I just sort of walked out really, made it up, walked out really quiet, and actually, I didn't realize that Gail was sort of behind me with the camera because he wanted to get it on video so we could share it with y'all. So what this is a little 5-6 minute video on catching some mullet, just coming up unexpectedly and wasn't even looking for them. But it was a nice school, and I was thinking later on after this incident occurred, after I caught some, I was thinking back in the day we could have got a gill net. That's what old timers did, just get a gill net and wrap it around and got the whole school. But we don't do that anymore because too many people did that and got too many schools left, and there wasn't that many schools of mullet left. So we just go out and throw one time. So anyway, we're going to roll this video. I think you're really going to enjoy it. This happened yesterday afternoon. So Jeff, let's roll this one. Right, they saw me. Look at them. All right. Next question. How many do we want to eat? Look at here. They're all over the place. That was a good. Let's count them. Let's count how many we got. We can't eat all these mullet. We got to keep them fresh. All sizes too. Let's go get a bucket. Let me go get a bucket. Let me tell y'all what happened. I was in the yard throwing pine cones out of the yard, and Gail came to the door and said, "Do you see those?" And I turned around and looked, and there was a school of mullet right by the dock. So I ran in the garage, got my net, made one cast, and look at them. We got enough. All right, let's see. 1, 2. That's a big one. 3. Look at the sizes. 4, 5. That's good bait right there. 6. He's about going through. 7, 8, 9. We got 9. We got 9. So we're gonna let most of them go. You want to eat something tonight? You do? All right, here we go. All right, this is the biggest one. I'm gonna let it go. It might be breeding stock, so we're gonna throw that one back. Ooh, that's a good old fat mullet. Look at there. He's happy. This is a little baby one. I'm gonna throw him back. 2. All right, here we go. All right, that's a good size one. Uh-oh. Okay. All right. All right, I got one in the bucket. Ow! One in the bucket. You want this one, or one of these? Which size you want? 4. That's 4. And there you go. Oh, we kept 3 and released 5. So we'll cook them up. I'll get some more tomorrow night, maybe. That one is 16 inches long. 16 inches long. It goes to show you when you're not even when you're not looking for fish, or that's when you find them. I was working in the yard, and like I say, Gail just stuck her head out the door. Look out there, and I literally ran in the garage, grabbed my net, and brought it out here. I only made one cast. Now, I was in a hurry, I could have got it better. I could have got it probably more, but 8 was enough. And like I say, we only kept 3, so let the other 5 go. All you folks want fresh mullet now. I know you're mad at me, but I got to sort of know. It's sort of late in the afternoon. I ain't got time calling anybody, so I'll try to get y'all something next time. Okay, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that. A lot of fun, and I know I'm probably going to be calling them after the show wanting some of that mullet, but we'll get you some next time. And like I said, if I can't eat it fresh, I'm just going to throw it back. Maybe catch some this afternoon. But this week's going to be a good time now. So around the bridges, well, you know, look at the Hathaway Bridge up underneath there is going to be excellent. The Bailey Bridge here, the Mid-Bay Bridge over in Choctawhatchee, and all those places. There's going to be some good mullet caught. Now look at the Fishing Game Times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe, 1:14 to 3:14 this morning, and this afternoon, 1:46 to 3:46, and that's the time right there I'm talking about. You know, from about 2 o'clock till dark. If you don't catch a mullet then, well, I don't know. They're going to be out there. I also wrote down, I got some reports. This past weekend, there have been some good nearshore reports that happened over the weekend I didn't get to talk about yesterday, but several people caught some nice mahi-mahi. I saw the pictures, some of them on Facebook friends, and then other people showed me other people. So that, and also I wrote down triggerfish. A lot of triggerfish have been caught recently. So that's 2 steadies this time of year. Those mahi are sticking around. I got to think about, you know, sticking around. What do we consider? Everything just takes off in the wintertime and heads down south. That's not true. We want to think that because of the schooling, you know, and all these schools coming by and migrating, but there are a lot of fish that stick around here in the bay system. You can prove it by looking sometimes at a manatee. Remember last year that manatee got trapped in cold water up at the dam, and a lot of fish are still around here. And I want to see if I can get a biologist here and tell us sort of his thoughts on why some fish stick around, and you know their buddies will go down south, and some of them will stick around here. And it would be interesting to see. All right, let's move on. I also wrote down we've been talking about fishing all morning. I started this other day and didn't get to finish on ground blinds. You know, because a lot of us are going to ground blinds because of the safety and all, and also because of the portability, being able to set it up at different places. And I'm just tickled with ground blinds. Ronnie Groom has them down there at his place, and he'll help you out on them. And Blue Water Outriggers has some ground blinds down there, so try to support our sponsors if you can. But last night I wrote down 10 tips on what to do with your ground blind, on how to set it up and how to, you know, where to put it and all that, because I've used them for several years now and I've had some good luck out of them. Number 1, set it up early. Don't go out the day before you go hunting out of it and set it up, because the deer are going to be in the area and they need to get used to it. So set it up early. Let the deer get acclimated to it, seeing it there, walking by it, and really that's something really important to do. Number 2, sit it away from the trail. Most of us know that. Don't sit it right on the trail and let them come towards you. You sit it away from the trail and you have a good vision from it, off the trail. And you can see where the trail is. Number 3, this is something interesting, and because I've read some articles on it lately, and people act like it's something brand new thing to do. And I put down add limbs and bushes around. And there's a term they call it, bushing it up or something, but I guess that's a millennial term. But I remember back in the day when I was duck hunting, we had limbs and bushes and all, just would break it off, whatever was natural, and put it on the boat. And I just carried it over to my duck hunting days. I carried it over to my deer hunting when I started making the blinds and all. I'd break off a limb and sometimes just lean it against the things so it looks like a limb. What it does, it breaks up the silhouette. But I read an article on the other day online, and this guy was talking about this is a great idea, new innovation that people are doing now. But believe me, we've been doing it here a lot, in Louisiana been doing a lot. So put bushes around and break out the silhouette. Okay, next one. Number 4, make sure you understand where the prevailing wind is going to be coming from this time of year. Now, it's going to be during January. Most of our wind will be coming out northwest. So if you can, you don't want that wind blowing behind your back. You want it blowing at you. Okay, if you're on that side of the trail. And number 5 is important too. You want to be comfortable, and you can now. You get some comfortable chairs, and you can just sort of relax in there. And who knows, you might even fall asleep, but you want to make yourself comfortable. And also, I like to be able to stand up, so I try to get one tall enough I can stand up and stretch my legs and body and move around a little bit and sit back down. I can't sit there and just sit there without moving around. Also, number 6, have a gun rest. Have something to rest your gun on when you lay your gun across it, something to rest it on and make it steady, especially when you're shooting out. I didn't used to think that was important because I can hold it and all that, but now it's so much easier to have some kind of little gun rest or something, okay, to put your gun on. Number 7, when you leave, you want to make sure you got an exit path that you can sort of leave sort of quietly. You don't go tromping through across the trail and all those kind of things. Try to exit quietly. That's just so important because you may not see him that day, but he may be there, especially if it's moving around. He hears you over there all the time, sort of knocking stuff around like you're in the kitchen and all. He's going to be aware of that, so that's danger to him. Okay, and let's get one more. Make sure you got cover scent. I don't care what kind you use, anything, but make sure you use some kind of scent to cover you, the smell of your clothes, smell of yourself and all, and use it, not sparingly, but make sure you use it all over your shoes and all that. I got a couple more and all. We'll mention these tomorrow, but that's 8 of them right there, 8 good ones too. All right, we're going to start wrapping it up. Hope you again enjoy that video of the mullet. Hope you enjoy those pictures and all. Got a big day, got a guest tomorrow, got all kinds of things coming on this week. Got some special guests coming in. And I'm going to try to get a mother and a son outdoor team coming in, and that's going to be interesting. So y'all have a great day today. Do something good for your fellow man, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.